Okay, welcome again mga ka-GSS at maraming salamat po ulit sa oras at nandito pa rin tayo sa Dubai. At ngayon makakasama natin si Ma'am Marian na isa pong interior designer dito sa Dubai pa rin. Salamat po sa pagsama sa amin sa programa ito. Sana po ay ma-inspire namin ulit kayo sa panibago na namang episode. Maraming salamat Ma'am Marian at napagbigyan nyo kami.
It's a pleasure po. It's a pleasure na being part ng journey na to. At saka it's a pleasure for me to share also my stories to other, not only OFWs, but also to those Filipinos na nasa bansa natin.
Wow, thank you so much. Ang galing. So, umpisa natin. So, Ma'am Marian, gusto ko lang lahat ng na-interview namin nagsisimula sa childhood. So, para maging consistent tayo sa questionnaire in terms of tanong, nagsisimula lahat karamihan doon. So, gusto ko lang i-share mo sa amin yung childhood mo.
So, siguro yung mga times na remember ko na lang. Ang na-remember ko is nung bumalik yung parents ko from Saudi. So, we moved from Zamboanga del Sur to Quezon City. So, although yung province ko is Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga City, laking na ako, QC, laking Metro Manila na ako. So, doon ako from grade 1 hanggang sa high school. I came from a very conservative Catholic family. So, I just actually reverted to Islam here in Dubai. Syempre, very strict. Yung Filipino culture man talaga, very strict eh. Unlike kung anong naiisip ng mga tao sa ibang bansa about sa atin, we have a very strict culture. So, lumaki ako sa ganun klaseng culture na we can't even go out. So, laging nasa bahay lang.
Lalo
if you go out, pag babae. I didn't even get a chance to play patintero outside. I'm always Barbie dollhouse. And then I recall the time that I was able to play like patintero, yung mga games outside, Chinese garter. It was when I was already 15 years old. Nung bumalik ako sa Zamboanga del Sur to continue my high school.
Sa Zamboanga ka na nag-college?
Yes po. So, Zamboanga del Sur ako na high school and then college
Back
sa Zamboanga City.
Zamboanga City rin.
Yes po.
Okay. So, ano yung pangarap nung batang Marian? Nung nangangarap ka pa, nasa Quezon City ka pa lang, siguro namubuo pa lang yung gusto mong gawin.
So yung lumaki kasi ako sa side ng mom ko. So my mom's side were all in medical field, doctors, radiologists, nurses, ganon. All of my grandmothers most of them are nurses.
Okay. So lahat sila nag-abroad?
Yes. So I think siguro sa mga tita at saka tito ng mom ko, I think 5 of them nasa US. Parang 5 or 4. And then, so, namato ako sa gano'n. So, lumaki ako din sa grandparents ko, kasama ang grandparents ko and my mom. So, my grandparents were military nurses and doctors. So, so lumalaki ako na I idolize them. I want to be a nurse or a doctor.
So, ikaw, isang anak ng both of your parents is OFW parehas?
They tried sa Saudi, but they failed kasi I think because of the comfort sa Philippines. I think. So, based on my understanding sa mga kwento nila, especially mami ko kasi nung sabi niya nga yung boss niya nung pinainom siya ng laban.
So, pero nakapunta siya ng Saudi?
Nakapag-Saudi siya
in
early, I think before 90s.
So, ilang taon siya doon?
1 year.
1 year lang?
Hindi taga-kinaya.
So, pero bata ka nito nung umalis siya. Ilang taon ka?
I think I was maybe 3 or 4. Hindi ko na siya...
So actually, wala, memory-wise, hindi pa ganun,
Wala na.
Okay, so, let's say, so bumalik siya, tapos, obviously, kaya nga medyo mahirap yung transition ng bata ka, tapos hindi mo malala, kasi hindi ka makapag-resonate, mag-abroad ba ako, kasi hindi mo siya, dahil hindi mo pa naisip yun eh.
Wala sa isip.
So, okay, so, nung umuwi sila, mami mo, hindi na siya bumalik?
Hindi na bumalik yung mom ko.
Okay.
Tapos after that, umuwi na din yung father ko, and hindi na sila bumalik. So, we just started a new life sa Quezon City.
Understand. Okay, pero ikaw, may pangarap ko ba mag-abroad?
Wala talaga.
Okay.
Actually, wala akong pangarap mag-abroad kasi I had my daughter at a very young age. I have a 17-year-old daughter now.
Already?
So, I had her when I was 21. And then, so, I actually studied nursing, not interior design. So, I started nursing in Zamboanga. But, my heart was not there. So, kasi, especially nagkaroon ako ng anak, I became very sensitive. Pag nag-duty ako, umiyak ako. Ganun pag uwi. Tapos,
dahil nami-miss mo siya o responsibility-wise?
Because of, I think, nagkakaroon ka ng mother instinct, I think, and lumalambot yung puso mo pag nakita ka ng someone who's in pain. Kaya nga, I really admire the nurses, Filipino nurses during the pandemic, kasi sabi ko, if I'm a nurse that time, I will give up. But sila sobrang, alam mo, sobrang solid.
Galing.
So, sabi ko, I don't have that kind of heart to care for others. So, in terms of like taking care of the wounded or of the sick, I really cannot do it, sabi ko. So, ayun, I searched for a different venture. I studied business administration in an online university in the US.
Okay.
So, I worked in an office setup in a BPO sa Pilipinas.
Okay.
And
so, the first job mo yun?
Yeah,
After
that's
mo
my first.
So, ilang degree ang ginawa mo?
Right now, so I studied nursing, business administration. It's an associate's degree. And then I'm currently studying psychology as well sa AMA University.
Okay.
And I'm just finishing my thesis.
Okay.
And then my interior design, I took a certificate for interior design dito na sa Dubai.
Galing.
It's also because of the encouragement of my husband. Because when I was doing my business, it's just really for, na-enjoy ko siya. I enjoy doing it. And my husband was the one who's telling me na, ang ganda. And I thought before na, baka binabola ako kasi it's my husband. But when I took the course, even my instructors, they're very happy with my work. And they gave me a really good rating. And then, ayun, dun ako okay, I will do this business.
Okay, so that was in Manila pa?
No, here.
Already na. So first, balikan natin yung unang trabaho mo sa Manila, corporate.
It's a corporate, yeah.
So ano yung mga bagay na natutunan mo, na kumbaga nabaon mo, at masasabi mong malaking parte ng buhay mo ngayon, yung natutunan mo doon na apply mo sa pang-araw-araw na buhay?
Siguro doon ko natutunan yung leadership skills. At saka managerial. Kasi dito sa Dubai, I don't know if everyone can resonate. If you don't work in a big corporate, in a big company, you will not have the leadership training, managerial training. You don't have that eh.
Okay.
Sa Pilipinas ko natutunan lahat yun. Kasi all of my employers there are like really...
Because you were in a managerial position that time.
Yeah. So, not manager, but I was in supervisory position.
Yeah. So, you're handling so many employees.
I'm managing teams. So, doon ko natutunan. And you can really compare yung hard work ng mga Filipinos.
Okay.
As in, talagang makikita mo, sabi ko nga dun sa, nung I started working in Qatar sabi ko nga, yung hard work ng Filipinos dito, like sa Pilipinas, like, it's like 10 times harder compared sa, nasa ibang bansa.
Well, kasi pag nagsama-sama mo yung physical na trabaho, minsan mahirap na emotion, di ba kasi malayo sa pamilya.
Exactly.
So para in my opinion, talagang yung OFW, isa talaga, kasi ako bilang isang OFW rin, those things na namimiss mo sa family, na hindi mo makasama sila, that is already hard, di ba? Na parang,
I think it's the biggest challenge sa atin mga OFWs.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So, kailan dumating yung opportunity na nagtrabaho sa corporate? Ilang taon ka nagtrabaho dito?
Dito sa Dubai since 2000.
No. I mean, dun sa first job, sa corporate.
Since 2010.
After mo ng university.
Nagkaroon ako na ng daughter, tapos I moved back sa
10 years ka doon?
I moved there. I keep on moving from somebody to another.
Yeah.
I left yung corporate sa Philippines ng 2017. So, 7 years ako nag-work in corporate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Biggest challenge na talagang masasabi mong munti ka ng, hindi na lang dapat nagtrabaho ng ganito. Meron ba?
Sa Philippines?
Oo, sa corporate. Nung nagtatrabaho ka doon, ano yung pinakamalaking challenge na na-overcome mo? Kumbaga,
kasi naging single mom ako since 2010. So, and even if single mom ako, hands-on mom ako. So, my daughter never had a nanny.
Okay.
So, I chose a night shift na job so that in the morning I can take care of her. So, I never had any regrets actually while I was working there. Kasi I got to spend time with my daughter. Kahit na wala akong tulog, I didn't even have time to date or whatever. So, I really focused like my life in the Philippines, taking care of my daughter.
So, yun yung biggest why. Kaya mo ginagawa yung lahat ng bagay na ginagawa mo.
Exactly.
Okay, so, dun sa mga natutunan mo na, sinabi mo nga, mas pinili mong magpanggabi na shift ka para at least mabigay mo yung oras kasi, di ba? Natutulog siya noon Kumbaga wala na kayong kambanding at the same time. So which is din on the day, at least mabigay mo yung mga pangangailangan niya pagpunta sa school. Maybe lahat ng mga daily routine na kailangan mong gampanan bilang mami. Gusto mong magawa yon. So sa tingin mo, yung kung mayroon mang natutunan dito sa corporate world, sabi mo nga, bukod sa pag-handling ng managerial o supervising job, 'di ba? Ano yung turning point na masasabi mo bakit ka umalis doon at nabigyan ng opportunity siguro makapag-abroad o ano yung nangyari?
So actually, wala akong opportunity to work abroad.
Okay.
So when I was in the Philippines, yung parents ko naman nag-retire sila 2015. Nangatira sa bahay namin is yung daughter ko at saka ako. And yung brother ko galing Qatar. So and then he also left. So ang nangyari, since yung daughter ko walang nanny, in the morning, alam mo, sobrang, sabi ko nga, she's my inspiration. Kasi if hindi ako hard worker, if not because of her, because she works really hard, like really 100 times. And she was only, I think, 7 or 8 that time. Walang kami naiiwan. So, I don't know, maybe marinig tong DSWD. Sana ko yan, no? But, sa routine namin noon is, I will go to work at night and mag-video call lang kami, may iwan siya sa bahay. And then, once I arrive home, so, night ko pumalis, ipaprepare ko na yung breakfast niya, like fruits, cereals, and so on. So, once I arrive home, nakapag-breakfast na siya, naligo na siya, ganon. Tapos, ready na siya to wait for her school bus. Tapos, I would just say bye to her and so on. So, susunod siya ng school bus and then matutulog ako. And then, in the afternoon, I pick her up. Kasi I chose to pick her up in the afternoon instead of like dropping her. Kasi in the afternoon, I always ask her, how's your day? So, we have that kind of relationship. I always ask her, what's your day? So, she shares everything. And then after that, we spend time before I go to work. So, ganun naging routine namin. Until such time na, siguro yung daughter ko, of course, she's still a baby. She always gets sick and yung pedya niya sinabi na there's nothing wrong with her and it's really something na because she needs time eh.
Yeah.
So, the time, nung kinalculate ko yung end of, yung gratuity ko, sabi ko, I think that's it. I can retire and, alam mo, gamitin to for something, maybe business.
Yeah.
So, resign. So, I resigned. And at that time, I have small businesses na din naman. So, sabi ko, sige, I will resign. And then, yeah, that's it. It's just really my daughter. My priority is my daughter. If anything will compromise yung relationship ko with my daughter, I have to give it up.
I understand.
Kasi right now, I'm the only person that she has in her life. Eh.
Yeah. Well, parang ang ganda lang, sobrang bonding ng anak mo at saka parang kumbaga kayong dalawa nagtutulungan sa ngayon, 17 years old na siya, so which is she understand everything na. Kailan dumating yung opportunity?
So,
Dubai ba? Kung first country? Qatar. Okay, so ihadan muna natin yung Qatar.
So, yung brother ko, bumalik siya ng Qatar. So, I think he worked there since 2014 or 2013. Tapos natapos yung contract niya, bumalik siya ng Manila. Tapos, bumalik na naman siya ng Qatar. And then, I have a friend sa church na, kasi ako doon, before, small group leader ako doon. So, I was
ng mga Filipino community?
Filipino, as a church.
Okay.
So, in-invite niya ako na, punta kami ng Qatar, wala ka namang work. Okay. So, she booked me.
It was visa,
tourist visa.
Okay.
She invited me on a tourist visa. I think it's only for 1 month.
Yeah.
And then, napunta ko ng Qatar. I love the country. I love the culture. And doon ko na ay pwede pala yun na you can be advanced. You can be a developed country at the same time. You were able to keep your culture. And since laking Manila nga ako, like, you grew up in traffic, pollution, tapos corruption, laging politics ang pinag-uusapan everyday. Like, it's so exhausting. Nung nasa Qatar ako, I really love the country.
Okay.
Like, all you hear is, that time may politics pa lang nangyayari because there's a blockade.
Yeah.
But, makikita mo, even Filipinos are very united. Like, they treat each other as family.
Which is nakaka-proud. Diba? At saka maging involved, ikaw mismo, na sobrang active ka. Ang ganda.
Exactly. So, I really love yung vibe, kumbaga, sa Qatar. So, I told my daughter na I'm gonna be staying. And she was okay with it. Okay. Sabi ko sa kanya, it will, like, give you a better future, ganyan. Tapos, so, I extended my visa. And then, I think on my 2nd month, I got a job.
Okay.
So, and it was just really a good job.
So, you can actually go to Qatar with visa,
tourist
visa that you can apply work.
Actually, it's not allowed. It's not supposed to be allowed. But, before kasi mag-expire yung tourist visa ko, kasi 1 month lang yung tourist visa ko that time, I got an offer from one private, semi-government company, I think.
Okay.
And then, so, I had to exit to change my visa.
Okay. So, para pagbalik mo, legal ka na?
Yeah.
Na working visa na?
Yeah.
Ang galing. So, nung bumalik ka at may visa ka na ng working visa sa Qatar, naiwan yung anak mo ngayon?
Naiwan siya.
First time mong kayong maghihiwalay na sobrang inangalagaan mo yun at talagang gustong-gusto mong gawin na magkasama kayo. Parang sa akin, you're trying your best talaga na mabigay yung pangangailangan niya. Ilang taon siya nito nung iniwan mo?
She turned 8, I think.
8 years old. Umalis ka na may isang bata na gustong-gusto mong mabigyan ng oras kasi yung oras palagay ko talaga isa yun sa pinaka-importanting is more than money in terms of para sa akin, 'di ba? Kasi hindi mo na mabibili pabalik yung oras pag nawala na yun eh. First time na hiwalay ka sa kanya ng obviously ilang taon kayong hindi nagkita?
Umuwi naman ako ng 2018, so 1 year.
So 1 year diretsong hindi.
1 year.
Anong pakiramdam ng isang nanay na hindi kasama ang isang
so
anak ng isang taon?
It's so painful. Siguro yun yung, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Pero, yun yung pinaka-difficult na time sa akin. Kasi, nung umuwi ako actually that's the time I said sorry to her. Kasi I just decided, kasi lumalakad, kahit babe pa siya, we decide things together eh. Like even nung yung iiwan sa bahay and so on, and she has to agree. If she's comfortable, then I'll do it. Ganon kami. So the time, it was so difficult.
So nung nagpaalam ka sa kanya, dahil nasa isip naman na siguro, pero I mean obviously 8 years old, hindi pa yan para mag-desisyon ng...
I think 9 years or so.
Anong sinasabi niya sa'yo?
She was like cool, yeah, okay lang.
Okay.
But kasi hindi mo alam, yung daughter ko hindi siya emotional, hindi siya, hindi siya yung dramatic na ganon.
Which is good.
Okay lang siya, ganon.
Just go for it.
Yeah. But
Very supportive na bata.
Very supportive, pero nalaman ko lang talaga kung ano yung heart niya nung umuwi ako, nung nag-heart-to-heart talk kami about nag-sorry ako.
After 1 year ito?
Yeah, after 1 year.
Okay.
And then, sabi niya sa akin, it's okay, but sabi niya sa akin, just make sure that if next time you have this kind of big plan na sasabihin mo sa akin ahead of time, parang ganon. And kasi may plan kami na pagbalik ko, may gagawin kami or something ganon eh. So, syempre nawala lahat.
Okay.
And then sabi niya sa akin that, uwi ka every year.
Okay.
So, yun ang condition niya sa akin. Sabi ko, okay, uwi ako every year. Ayun.
Okay. So, eventually, ano nangyari sa trabaho dito sa Qatar?
So, sa Qatar, my contract ended. And I went
Ilang taon yun?
Ano lang, almost 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Experience-wise, nagandahan ka kasi na-inlove ka sa unang pagpunta mo, turista, tapos ang ganda, na parang may mga opportunities na dumating. Doon sa trabaho mo, ano yung pinaka-biggest challenge dito sa 2 years? Apart from obviously malayo sa anak.
Sa totoo lang, actually, yung mga boss ko, yung employer ko, they're very happy with me. Like, they gave me everything that I need. Whatever I demand, like I want my own room, I want my driver, and so on. They give me everything. I want an increase. I want visa for my brother. They gave me everything.
Anong trabaho mo dito?
Sa ako, HR manager.
Wow.
Yeah. So, they give me everything.
They own the company.
Yeah.
Na high ka as CRR na. Tapos, reporting directly with these people.
Yes.
Galing.
So, yung pinaka-may-ari na, she's a pediatrician, she's my boss. So, and then when I joined kasi the company, they have so many legal, like, stuff going on. And I was the one who fixed everything. And then yung mga policies, even sa mga doctors.
Yeah.
So, she was very pleased. Ang naging challenge ko actually sa totoo lang sa Philippines, sa Doha, was my Filipino colleagues. Sa totoo lang. Kasi, like, crab mentality really exists. So
it's a crab mentality, you're saying.
Yeah. So, I tried to mingle with them, like, try to have lunch with them, kasi I don't want them to feel na, okay, kasi you're close with the boss or whatever.
Kasi HR ka, mas malapit
ka. So, I tried to be close with them. I tried to be friends with them. I even stayed in one house with them, one accommodation with them. But for some reasons, actually, they are the reason why I was kicked out of Doha. So I don't really, so
can you tell us more about this?
Well, the receptions there, the nurses there, very nice to me and so on. Kasi I helped them. They had got salary increase. Yung happy sila with their visa and so on. Medical, they got their rights when I joined sa mga Filipinos to. But there was one, sabihin ko ba yung position niya? She was an accountant. She used to be like the favorite before. But yeah, the people in accounting, they said something to my boss which I didn't ask anymore. And my boss wasn't pleased about it. And then she just told me, I heard so many things and so on. And then that's it. And because they came before me, she trusted them more.
Okay, of course.
So parang she took their side. And then, ayun. But when I left, actually, like, the Filipinos were very grateful because there are so many Filipinos who are grateful pag you do something for them, diba?
Yeah. Of course. Sa community, especially.
They're the one who helped me. They're the one who protected me. They're the one who dropped me to, they're the one who took me to the ATM machine and withdraw the last money I have and so on.
Grabe.
They're giving me food. We even took photos. And until now, we are friends.
So, ano yung isang, galing nun, ang galing, napakaganda nun. So, ano yung sa tingin mong isang dapat, kung mayroon man tayong babaguhin bilang isang kultura ng Pilipino, especially sa crab mentality, di ba, na sa tingin natin, generasyon, pero sana yung second generation, di ba, na mawala na sana dahil, para sa akin, dito ako personally sa GSS, I would rather help everyone to
uplift everyone.
Uplift everybody if we can by doing this, diba? So that's my thing. So, but then obviously minsan parang may mga points na may mga negative ko pa rin comments makikita, which is I'm prepared for that. But then in terms of yun nga, sa'yo, ikaw bilang isang Pilipino na naka-experience ng crab mentality problems and such thing, diba? Na parang ano isa sa tingin mo ang kailangan nating gawin bilang
Actually, hindi ko lang na-experience yun sa Doha. Even here in Dubai, I experienced it really big time, lalo na dito nung nagkaroon ako ng business. Kasi I trusted Filipinos who were pulling me down.
Okay.
So, which is so sad. Kasi if you can see in other culture, in other nationalities, they're not like that.
No.
Indians, Pakistanis, Arabs, they will help each other. If they can do it, why can't we do it as well?
Absolutely. Diba? And that's the hope. You always, diba sa akin?
And you cannot, I always believe na you will not really shine by dimming others people's lights.
Totoo.
Diba?
Totoo.
So, the only way for you para umangat ka is if you see someone who's successful, who's really magaling sa work niya, is learn from that person.
Exactly.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't create chismes, don't create gossip. Don't, alam mo yun, kasi it's not gonna help. Kasi eventually, I believe in karma eh.
Yeah.
Diba? Whatever bad you do to other people, it will also happen to you. Maybe not to you, but to those people who's close to you.
Totoo.
It really happens. And I've witnessed it. This person who created stories about me, they got fired eventually. I think after 3 years. After
there you go. Diba? For me, sa akin kasi, sa tingin ko, my personal perspective sa ganitong sitwasyon, diba? Kung wala ka na rin lang matutulong, you would just rather do nothing na lang.
Exactly.
But then if you think na, kasi siguro sa akin, I don't know kung tama yun, na parang nagsisimula lahat yan sa inggit eh.
Exactly.
Diba? So, para hilahin mo yung isang tao, kasi sabi nila, pag naging successful ka, o pag successful people ka, na you're helping our kababayans, wala na yun eh. Wala ka ng crab mentality. In other words, kasi gusto mo nang tumulong.
Exactly.
But then, yung iba na tinutulungan minsan, parang, sila pa yung,
exactly.
Diba? But then, sadly, diba, nakakaano lang na you're doing something good for everyone, hopefully na ma-inspire, diba? But then, sometimes, parang yun pa yung nagiging, hindi naman totoo yan. Wala naman ganun yan. But then, well, sa akin, yun nga, ano yung natutunan mo doon sa...
To be honest, I learned not to trust Filipinos.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really sad. But nung dumating ako dito, I just chose to have like small Filipino group lang, Filipino community.
Para selective na.
Okay. So if I joined before a Filipino community who's like this, who has this attitude, I just left.
Sabihan naman yun eh, if you're the business people, di ba, you should be surrounded with positive people in order for you to move forward.
Exactly.
Kasi negativity is not good for any things. So we would rather, di ba, kung yun nga, balik tayo dun sa kung wala ka rin lang matutulong at kung negative ka rin lang, okay, wag na lang. Exactly, which is the thing, di ba? Pero, di ba, kung positibo ka at, di ba, at may matutulong tayo, tulungan na lang, di ba? Mas maganda. But tama, nakikita ko naman yung point mo. But then, other than that, so, umuwi ka ng Pilipinas after 2 years, natapos kontrata.
Yeah. So,
ano nangyari?
Actually, after like a year and a half, nung nasa Pilipinas ako, parang hindi ko na gusto yung Pilipinas.
Okay.
Kasi na-realize ko that there are opportunities. At saka ang gagaling ng mga Pilipino. Magaling tayong mga Pilipino. And sa Pilipinas kasi nakasayang yung galing natin eh.
Totoo.
Nasayang galing natin kasi
mababa sweldo.
Mababa ang sweldo. Overwork tayo. Sabi ko nga yung work na effort na binibigyan natin sa Pilipinas, pagdating sa abroad, 10 times kang babayaran. So, bakit ka magkastay sa Pilipinas, diba? So, ayun. Tapos, yung ano ko na din is yung pollution. Hindi ko gusto yung pollution.
Saka siguro, I mean, ang isang nagiging problema, for example, ilang taon ka lang umuwi?
Baka hindi ko lang
I mean, it's just roughly.
30, 31.
Well, kasi kaya ako naitanong yung ilang taon, kung ilang taon, kasi isa sa Pilipinas na isa sa tingin kong kailangan baguhin para mag-adapt tayo sa mga number one word. Para sa amin in Europe, for example, wala man dyan masyadong discrimination sa age.
Exactly.
So sa akin kasi, pag dumating ka na ng, for example, mag-hire ng 18 to 25 years old, paano kung 30 ka na?
Exactly.
Diba? Wala ka na bang oportunidad sa pagtatrabaho?
Totoo.
So, 'di ba? So yun isa 'yon. Tapos pangalawa, yung educational background, ang taas ng standard,
Oo.
'di ba? Tapos ngayon ang liit naman ng papasweldo dahil hindi naman yung kaya magpasweldo ng malaki. Pero yun yung mga bagay na dapat kailangan baguhin sa Pilipinas din siguro kung may pagkakataon, 'di ba? So but then, so ano nangyari after no na sabi mo ayaw mo na? Bumalik ka ulit? O
Bumalik
paano
ako.
nagkaroon
So,
ng opportunity bumalik? Dubai na to?
Pa-Dubai na ako. So, plan ko bumalik ng Qatar. Kaya lang kasi
Okay.
sa Qatar may, rules sila na if di mo na-complete yung 2 years, di ka pwedeng bumalik.
Ah.
So, I think it needs time bago ka makabalik. Like, 2 years, another 2 years yata before ko
Okay.
Ay, gusto ko talaga bumalik ng Middle East.
Okay.
So, ang ginawa ko, nalaman ko lang yun nung nasa Vietnam ako.
So nag-Vietnam ka muna?
Nag-Vietnam ako. Nagbabakasyon ako, Vietnam, Thailand. Kaya sabi ko, sige, while waiting for visa.
This is vacation?
Yeah, vacation.
Okay.
Tapos yung time na yun, si Catriona nag-rape ay, sikat na sikat sa Thailand. Kasi I was jump from Vietnam to Thailand, ganun.
Okay.
Tapos, yung Filipino friends ko pa sa Doha was supposed to process may visa, like they scam me and so on. Ang dami nangyari sa akin na Filipino are the one who really pull
They
me
scam
down. Yeah.
Talaga?
Took my money and I was really lost when I was in Thailand. Like,
Oh no.
and then hindi ko masabi sa parents ko kasi alam ko na sabi ng parents ko, umuwi ka na lang. Kasi komportable naman tayo dito.
Yeah.
Yan lagi mo kang mabig ng lalo ng father ko. We're comfortable here. Why do you have to work abroad?
Okay.
Yun lagi. So, hindi ko masabi sa kanila kung ano yung needs ko. So, yung sister ko, yung eldest sister ko, siya lang ang sinasabihin ko, wala na akong pera, saan ako matutulog? Actually, like, I actually shared this to some Filipinos. When I was in Thailand, talagang I was very desperate na to the point na I spent Christmas Eve sa airport kasi I cannot pay my hotel anymore. Kasi someone took my money.
Oh no.
So whatever yung na-save ko when I was working sa Pilipinas at saka when I was working in Doha, nawala na siya kasi someone took it. And then until meron akong friend lang na nasa Dubai, she invited me to come here in Dubai. So sabi niya sa akin, huwag ka na bumalik ng Doha kasi she's also from Doha.
Mga magkano nawala sa'yo? If you don't mind. Rough bulk figures.
Siguro 180,000 pesos.
Yun yung part ng naipon mo ng 2 years.
Yeah.
Partly.
Yeah.
Oo. May napundar ka ba maliban doon?
May mga small businesses ako sa Philippines.
Okay.
Yan.
Which is good.
Yun. So, may konting source of but it's not like that
Yeah.
significant.
I understand.
So, ayan, yung friend ko who used to be a receptionist sa Doha was also really nice to me. I have a good relationship with her. She's here in Dubai.
Yeah.
And she invited me to just come here. Sabi niyo ka na mag-Doha, mag-Dubai ka na lang. Tapos let's look for a job here. Kasi kakalipat niya lang din. And she told me, maghanap tayo, mag-share tayo ng partition and so on. So sabi ko, sige, gusto ko talaga mag-Middle East ulit. So sabi ko, sige, punta ka ng Dubai. And then I got some money. I have money. And then I booked my ticket and visa dito sa Dubai.
So lahat nangyayari to, nung napadala mo na yung pera mo, nasa Vietnam ka.
Nasa Thailand ako that
time. Natulog ka sa airport dahil wala ka ng pera, wala ka ng pang hotel.
Wala na.
So ano nangyari nun? So wala kang pera pang hotel, pero yung application mo nasa Dubai? O yung kaibigan mo nandoon ka sa Vietnam nung ino-offeran ka nito? Nang pumunta ka
Nasa Thailand ako noon.
Nasa Thailand ka?
Thailand ako.
Gusto nang pumunta ng Dubai? Yung sinasabi ng friend mo?
Yeah. So, nung nasa Thailand ako, well, it's actually like a blessing din talaga. I know it's God who sent her because I have a friend who's in Germany and she told me that like, because at the time I was like, I feel like I was in a very dark place.
Grabe yun, diba?
I don't
As in, wala ka ng pera?
Wala.
Zero?
Yeah. And she told me that...
So, may ticket ka pabalik ng Pilipinas? Wala. Wow.
And then, so this friend from Germany, she told me that I saw your post, ganyan, and sabi niya, parang, I feel like God...
so, rock bottom ka talaga that time?
Yeah.
Grabe.
So, ayun, so sabi nung friend ko na yun na I feel like God was asking me to help you. And she also sent me the money for me to book the ticket and the visa.
So, to go to Dubai?
Yeah. And she
so, pumunta ka ng Dubai, wala kang dala kahit 5 duling?
Meron konting natira doon sa pera, which I paid for the partition.
Not enough na. Kasi hindi ka na nakapag-hotel kasi magkano lang hotel sa...
Wala na. Oo, kasi $20 ang hotel doon kung mabayaran.
Di ba? Kanya nga. So, ang ibig ko sabihin, so talagang as in...
Kasi wala, simot ako. Nung napunta ako Dubai, wala talaga.
Okay, so ngayon, kwento natin. Ang ganda nito, kasi yung mga meron na, tapos ayaw pa magnegosyo, pero, di ba, parang ikaw naman wala, pero ang gusto mo, nung bumalik ka ng Dubai, ang nasa isip mo, magtatrabaho ka ulit.
Mag-work talaga ako ulit. Gusto ko talaga mag-work.
So, mga ilang days yung panahon o buwan lumipas bago ka nakahanap ng panibagong trabaho?
Sobrang bilis lang. Wala pang 1 month. So, in just 1 month, nagkaroon ako ng 3 offer which they tried me.
Okay.
So, but instead of them trying me, I was trying them. Kasi if they're comfortable sa workplace, I leave. So, yung first is an IT company. Puro lalaki kasi hindi ako komportable. So, after like 2 days, I left. And then yung second is a dental clinic.
Yeah.
But nung we're okay, but then gusto na ako bigyan ng different salary from what I was asking, so I left. And then until napunta ako sa interior design company, and the owner was local and British, so they're partners. And start pa ng merger, and they need someone to help them with the admin, managerial works, and so on. So they hired me.
So, yun yung naging trabaho mo?
Yun yung naging work ko.
So, ilang taon mo ginawa to?
So, since 2018, actually, hindi ako nagka-count years. 2018, I left them 2022 of January.
So, 4 years ka trabaho.
Like
Almost.
3 years.
19, 20 years. 3 years, yan. Kasi pandemic naman, di ba? So, okay. So, ang ganda lang, di ba? Siguro, naging advantages mo, dami na experience.
Yeah.
Very educated person, di ba? 3 degree?
Yeah.
So, I would be surprised with that, di ba? Na makakahanap ng trabaho. Pero at the same time, so obviously, kailangan mong mag-take lang ng action, mag-apply.
Yeah.
Kasi kahit gano'ng kaka-edukadong tao, kung nangangarap ka lang at nagdadasal, wala ka namang ginagawa.
Na walang action.
So walang mangyayari. So ang galing. So nakatrabaho ka 4 years. Paano nag-transition ngayon sa business?
So, kasi diba, I remember I promised my daughter na every year I will go home. But pandemic happened. Di ako nakauwi ng 2020. So last time I was in the Philippines was 2019 December.
Marami.
So 2020, di ako nakauwi. And then I was so desperate to see my daughter. Kasi she was transitioning that time eh. She was already like, I think, 11,
From teenager,
12,
into teenagers na.
So, I was already very worried kasi wala ako sa time na nagka-transition siya. So, I decided, I spoke with my sister who's, she's a clinical psychologist in the Philippines. Sabi ko sa kanya, sa atin nanto, hindi natin sabihin kay mami ha. Kasi alam ko si mami ko, kontrahin niya eh. Kukulin ko yung daughter ko.
Papunta dito?
Dalhin ko dito.
Sa Dubai?
So, we planned about it. I saved money. Tapos, dumating sila pareho ng October 2021. I cannot go home.
When you say pareho?
Sister ko and yung daughter ko. Hindi ako makauwi sa Philippines kasi I have big responsibilities sa work. Kasi sa work, I started there as actually an admin, but I left the company as a manager.
Galing.
So they will like multiplied my salary like 5 times. And I can say that I'm just like one of the, maybe 20% of Filipinos who's earning that much, who's really privileged. I have my apartment in Marina, in Intercontinental. So like...
So you own the apartment already?
No, it's...
renting?
Actually, I was renting. So like... I was so privileged na itong mga bagay na ito nabigay sa akin ng employer ko. Like, they really, like, you know, they really value my work na whatever I ask them, increase, whatever, they will give it to me. So, October 2021, my daughter and sister came here.
So that was 17 years? No, 3 years later. So parang nasa 14 pa lang?
Yeah, she's turning 13.
That time?
Yeah,
okay.
13 siya. So, napunta sila dito, I realized that I really changed. Kasi pag mag-isa ka nag-work, Sir Vic, hindi mo napapansin yung changes sa sarili mo. Like mentally, physically, like emotionally, hindi mo napapansin. Kasi you keep on working eh. Yun ang life mo, your routine.
Parang sabi ko nga, yun yung routine mo, parang yung hamster.
Exactly.
Na umiikot lang doon, hindi na, walang growth eh. Diba? Pero maaaring maganda yung offer ng salary, parang yung sa'yo, nag 5 times, diba? But then, parang yung growth mo as a person,
Oo, I became a completely different person kasi nung dumating yung daughter ko, ang bilis kong mag-snap.
Grabe.
Kasi pag sobrang busy ako sa working work ko, nadadala ko sa bahay. And konting mali lang ng daughter ko or ng sister ko, sumisigaw ako.
Oo.
And I really feel bad kasi ngayon pa lang ako nag-aano sa daughter ko nagka-catch up.
Tama.
So,
parang ang hirap ng adjustment.
Yeah, and ang Dubai, sobrang kasi fast-paced ang Dubai. So, kailangan mo talaga makipagsabayan.
Yeah.
So, hindi ka pa pwede you cannot take a break. If you want to be on top, you need to keep on going. Diba? You need to keep on pushing. So, hindi ko pa yan sabihin sa boss ko na, teka lang, mag-break lang ako or teka lang, I will just leave my job na kahit I cannot step back kasi that time from pandemic, bumabangon pa lang ang company. But, kinausap ko yung boss ko who's in the UK and he's actually one of if you will see his bio, he's very famous architect. His name is James Park. He was the one who did the business and first class of Cathay Pacific, Singapore Airlines.
Wow.
And But he was a very humble man, and I really learned a lot from him.
Okay.
When I told him that I'm resigning, he spoke with me, and he even came here and he asked me what's my plan. He didn't actually offer me something for me to stay. Kasi when I told him my reason, he appreciated it, and he told me that you cannot be in corporate forever. And he, even my boss, who's a local, before she left the company, she told me that, she keeps on telling me that you have a lot of potential, don't settle. And even all of my bosses, even when I was in Qatar, yung boss ko dun in finance department, she told me that, one day, she keeps on telling me, you have a lot of potential. One day, might be in my position or you can be higher.
Wow.
And I believed in them because they're already on top
Yeah.
So if they can see
People
the
can see your
potential,
potential. Oh,
maybe
100%.
ako hindi ko siya nakikita, but these people, they can see.
You see. Yeah.
So, even my boss was a local, Emirati, she told my team talaga we had a farewell breakfast. She told everyone that you have no idea how lucky you are to have her.
Okay.
So she told the team about that. So when I left the company with respect talaga and really appreciation with my boss.
So when you left the company, mayroon ka ng business in mind na gagawin mo? Or
Wala pa.
ano lang ang pinanghuhugutan mo lang para lang ibigay mo sa anak mo yung kaya mo ulit?
Yeah. I was like calculating again my gratuity that time and of service ko. And sabi ko, I'll take away kasi I know if
So si sister may trabaho, wala?
She's working remotely sa Philippines.
Okay.
So
at least hindi mo siya sinusuportahan in terms of finance. O
Hindi.
kailangan. At least yung
Hindi
sa bahay,
naman.
libre naman na siya.
yeah,
Kasama mo siya.
hindi naman, yeah.
Pero yung anak mo, obviously na may ipong pa naman. Pero
Yeah.
when you make the decision as such thing, na parang, hindi, kailangan kong ibigay yung oras sa bata kasi mas importante ito kasi maaaring yun yung sinasabi mo sa sarili mo. Ano ngayon yung iniisip mo na gagawin mo to pero buo loob mo at the same time na may direction yung pupuntahan mo?
Siguro, Sir Vic, I just really trusted God.
Okay.
Kasi He never abandoned me.
Mhm.
Ang dami kong pinagdaanan sa sorry.
That's okay.
Ang dami kong pinagdaanan sa single parent.
Uh-huh.
But there was never a time na wala kaming, a lot of people rejected me and my daughter. Actually, to be honest, relatives, friends, whenever I asked help. And then I learned in my life to really work hard so I will not reach a point that I will have to ask for help. Kasi alam ko walang tutulong sa akin. I just accepted that fact.
Yeah.
So when I resigned, I know I have enough money.
Mm-mm.
I can spend time with my daughter even for 1 month.
Yeah.
And I took the risk, and I know actually that God will never abandon me.
Okay.
And God knows my heart na I am doing everything for my daughter, but I will not risk yung relationship ko with my daughter just earning money.
Okay.
Money, you can just pick it up anywhere, di ba?
Ang ganda nun.
But yung family mo, yung especially in kids, you don't abandon your kids. Yun talaga. Kasi the rest of things you can just easily get that. But the time that you have for your children, you cannot take it back.
100%.
Hindi.
Agree.
So, the time I trusted God, and then January, I decided to do the business. So,
Tissue.
sabi ko na nga ba, ayoko pa naman umiyak.
No, that's part of the thing, di ba? So, I mean,
Mag-brush na ayos ko.
I mean, those kind of things is such, para sa akin kahit sino may iyak dun sa
Yeah.
pinagdadaanan mo, di ba? Na parang, hindi madali ang buhay, di ba? But on the other hand, laban lang.
Laban lang.
Di ba?
Exactly.
Tapos, parang ang nakikita ko sa'yo, apart from very positive person ka, naniniwala na may mangyayari. Ano yung gusto mong marating nung sinabi mo sa sarili mo na, okay, I had rejections in the past, but alam mo sa sarili mo na naniniwala ka sa Kanya, binibigay mo yung lahat na sana may, lahat ng gagawin mo, i-guide ka niya.
Yeah.
Diba? Number 1 kasi yan. Pag naniniwala ka daw, huwag mo nang tipirin yung paniniwala.
Exactly.
Ibigay mo na lahat sa Kanya. Kasi minsan yung iba, diba, parang may doubt pa rin eh. Sa tingin mo, ikaw, nung sinabi mo na, okay, magre-resign ako, walang trabaho, bibigay ko yung oras sa anak ko habang nandito kami. Support na. So, mga ilang buwan sa tingin mo yung masusupport na okay ka, na hindi ka mag-aalala kahit hindi ka magtrabaho?
Actually, I can say mga 3 months lang.
Survive?
Yeah.
Nang walang problema?
Yeah.
So, ano nangyari? So, bago ba nag 3 months, ano nangyari?
So, I started the business ng January 2022. At first, it was consultancy.
That was the second month o first month?
First month.
After
Pag-alis ko,
resignation?
pag-alis, yeah.
Galing.
So,
Okay.
syempre, pag naka-start, you need to learn everything. And then I took certification for project management. And then, tinry kong aralin yung business and so on. I was doing before only consultancy.
This is your first ever business?
Yes, dito sa
Sa Pilipinas, ano na yung mga businesses na
gano'n ka mga small rental.
failure?
Airbnb.
Okay. So, walang failure sa Pilipinas na business.
Wala, it's
Puro successful lahat.
Yeah.
Galing naman.
It's not earning that much, but you can say that it's still there.
Kasi sa akin, di ba, parang ako, ang dami kong binuksang maliliit na negosyo, nagsara.
Yeah.
Marami nakakaalam nun. Pero part ng journey yun eh. Hindi naman natatapos yung chapter doon. Pero sa akin, sa business daw, kadalasan, lahat na nagiging successful, ang dami munang failures. Pero hindi nakikita ng iba yung failures, kung gaano kahirap bago naging successful.
Yeah.
Pero ikaw, maswerte ka kung wala kang failures. Tapos, maliit lang yung kita, pero at least hindi nag-fail.
Yeah.
So, ngayon, dito, ginawa mo na, nag-decide ka na magninegosyo ka na, na tumaasa ka kay God, na gabayan ka sa negosyo. So, ano yung unang business na nasa isip mong gawin? Ano ba tong negosyo na to?
Ang inisip ko that time, consultancy lang talaga. Kasi, like, I was doing project management consultancy. So, kasi sa field na to, pagka construction, lalaki ang kailangan na nasa field.
Yeah.
Ikaw, sa ano ka lang, di ba? Sa office ka lang. So, I was doing that and I was enjoying it kasi yung daughter ko, nagkakaroon ako ng time with her.
Yeah.
But you're not earning that much kasi yung income is dun sa project manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, until April, I was invited to join real estate company.
Okay.
And then, to be a business development
So, this is the
manager.
third month already? Na,
Third month, wala akong
walang trabaho?
Walang trabaho.
Pero yung first month, kumita na ba to kagad?
Hindi. Kumikita lang siya ng mga, mga 5,000 every month.
Every
And
month.
for
Which is
you-
enough ba yun para hindi?
No, it's only paying the bills. To be honest. It's only paying
So,
the bills.
at least break even.
Yeah.
O yung pera mong na-save na 3 months na pwede, hindi
Yeah.
nagagalaw pa. Hindi pa
Yeah.
nababawasan. So,
Yeah.
kumbaga nakasurvive ka na ng 1 month, yung 3 months allocation mo na budget, hindi pa nagalaw yon. So, in other words, okay lang. Lumipas yung isang buwan na hindi nagalaw yung...
Actually, naubos talaga yung savings ko na rin kasi we moved to a villa. Ito rin sa Damakit.
Wow.
Kasi sa Marina, I was just staying in a studio.
Okay.
Although malaki ang studio, para siyang 1 bedroom, but tatlo kami.
Okay.
And syempre sa Pilipinas, yung mga bahay natin, may kanya-kanya tayong kwarto.
Tama. Dito, studio to.
Well, yeah, so we have our own room sa Pilipinas. Pagdating dito studio, so medyo hindi kami, nasa dress ko
Privacy-wise.
lahat.
Tapos kasama po yung anak mo.
Yeah, and yung sister ko, nag-work din siya online. Like, so sabi ko, hindi, kuha ako ng, okay, just for them to feel still at home kasi I feel guilty na, dalhin ito, especially yung sister ko, tapos naka-apartment. So sabi ko, sige, I will...
So, na-deposit na yung pera mo, yung funds mo na 3 months.
Bayad na. So,
Okay, so in other words, nag-start yung business mo ng halos kukunti.
yeah.
Yung initial capital mo.
Yeah.
Okay,
As in, tapos ang pagbayad ng trade license din is very expensive. Like, if you wanna start a business, you have to spend like 20,000.
Galing.
Tapos yung lahat, ang dami, like visa mo pa, and so on. So, ayun, kaya that time talaga, siguro nasa 2nd month pa lang, ubos ng pera ko.
Grabe. So, paano nakabangon?
So, noong mga April, I was invited nga sa real estate to join naman sa BDM. And that time, di pa ako Muslim. Kasi I just converted to Islam here.
Yeah.
So, in-invite nila ako just because I think of my looks. So, I was onboarding property owners para, to do the holiday homes, Airbnb, ganon. Tapos, that was April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Tapos, 7 months. I was really doing well. In fact, yung owner ng company, this British-owned, he even spoke with me and he told me that, the properties you onboarded in 6 months is equivalent to our 3 years. So, ganun. And, like...
So, when you say onboarding company, so you are on the broker ka na nito o
Hindi ako
estate agent ka?
Hindi ako agent, but business development manager. So, ang ginagawa ko is I invite property owners. For example, you're a property owner and you have these apartments and potential siya, magandang business potential for Airbnb. Then, we will manage
consultant
it.
ka?
Yeah.
O, ikaw yung magmamanage?
Yeah, the company will manage, but I'll just be the middle person between the property owner and the company.
Napakaganda naman.
So, i-explain ko lang yung contracts and
Yeah.
so on, kung ano yung financial projection and so on. Yun,
So parang kung kunyari, ang pamadaling halimbawa nito, kung nasa Pilipinas ako, may condo units ako, I should, ikaw nang bahala dyan sa condo namin, paupahan namin yan, kung may potential kang doon ka kumikita.
Yeah, so I'm being paid
Wow.
by commission. Wala akong fixed
Yeah,
salary.
kasi iba sa parang sa Philippines yata, my understanding is, kung ikaw ay ganyan yung trabaho, kung may isang unit ako na nag-charge ako ng 45,000, that's your commission 1 month equivalent.
Yeah.
Sa isang unit pa lang yon. So
Yeah.
ngayon, kung kailangan mong paggawin,
Damihan pa.
Damihan mo yung unit na mapapaupahan mo.
Yeah.
So parang ikaw, sa loob ng 6 months, ilang unit na paupahan mo? Yun yung sinasabi ng British guy na...
on board ko, hindi ko na maalala, but madami na. Siguro property owners is 20 plus, pero yung number of properties na kasi may mga properties, ganon.
So sa tingin mo, iyon yung mga sagot sa dasal mo?
It helped me with the bills, to be honest. It helped me kasi enroll ko yung daughter ko, tapos like, a lot of things na kasi ito sa Dubai, if you wanna be comfortable here, you have to at least earn like 10 to 15,000. Yung mga ganon.
Okay.
Every month. In dirhams, like it's $5,000.
So kailan mo na-hit yung may offer ka na magandang sweldo dun sa inalisan mo, maganda naman yung sweldo mo.
Yeah.
After ilang buwan, bago nakabalik yung kinikita mo na nawala nung nag-resign ka?
Actually, hindi ako nag-resign sa company. They terminated me. They terminated me because I became a Muslim.
Oh, I see. Because of religious thing.
Yeah, and my boss actually like, to be honest, when I asked for legal advice, sinabihan ako na, yeah, you can file a case against the company kasi it's discrimination.
Okay.
Sinabihan ako ng boss kasi, syempre,
Breach of contract yun, wala naman yun, di ba?
Wala din kaya sa contract namin. Yeah. So, when I joined the company, I was wearing miniskirt with long hair and I have sexy photos sa website, and the only thing I asked them is to change my photos. At least hindi na kayo job. At least covered yung
disrespect. Because kasi nag-convert ka eh, diba?
Yeah, and yung mga clients ko, if I meet them in person, magugulat sila kasi I'm covered na.
Yeah.
So, yun, at least that kind of respect. But I think they took it differently, and my boss told me, yung director ng department namin, siya nag-terminate sa akin eh. So after the owner spoke with me, and he was very impressed, the director, when she came back from UK, she told me na, you're not the person we hired. No. And it was like, syempre magkakaroon ka ng doubt, diba? Parang self-doubt na, ano bang maling ginawa ko? But then I accepted it. Sabi ko, I just reached out.
Pag may nagsaradong pinto, may magbubukas sa mas malaking pinto. Doon ako naniniwala din.
Yeah.
Well, especially dama hindi ka nag-resign. So, okay. So, kailan tumama na kinikita mo na yung kinikita mo doon sa sweldo mo nung na-terminate ka?
Nung na-start ko na yung fit-out company ko.
Galing.
So, that was December officially, 2022.
So, which is then 12 months almost later.
Yeah.
After na resignation mo.
Yeah.
Saka mo na-hit yung target.
Yes.
So, paano nakasurvive yung, kasi sabi mo nga 3 months lang eh. So, nag-survive talaga sa'yo yung isang ginagawa mo?
Yeah. May mga malita akong ginagawa. So, I didn't stick for one source of income.
Yeah.
So, meron akong yung sa consultancy ko. I was doing that. I had, I think, 3 clients.
So, how many sort of 3 different things you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I was doing the fit out, furnishing little by little. And then yung husband ko, he was the one who encouraged me na do it as a business kasi you're really good at it.
This is now the designing thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So, he's encouraging you so much. So, naalaki ng potential mo sa pag-design.
Exactly. Kasi, actually, the reason why I met him is because he used to be my client.
Okay.
So, he became my client, and I was just doing it for fun, I just really enjoy doing it. And he told me that this can be a potential business.
Galing. So, ngayon, kumbaga, ito na ngayon yung core ng business mo. Ito na yung bread and butter mo kaysa doon sa mga iba pa, other things na ginagawa mo. Pero obviously, meron ka pa rin ibang ginagawa. Side hustle, apart from this one. Magkano nang kinikita ng isang interior designer sa Dubai?
Baka mautangan ako. Wait lang. Baka sabihin na mayaman talaga ako. Well, ang goal ko talaga every month, at least 100,000 dirhams. Like, that's my profit every month.
Yeah.
Yan yung ano ko.
Profit o actual revenue?
Revenue. So,
okay.
yan yung revenue.
Yun yung target mo a month, na revenue.
Oh, yeah.
Oo.
So, 100, yun ang minimum.
Tapos yung margin yan, 50% o 100% margin?
Ayoko na sabihin. So, ayun. So, kasi sa Dubai, merong low season at high season. Like, low season is like 4 months.
Well, everything naman. Di ba? Parang, ano yan parang sabi nga sa business, kapag yung vertical ka masyado,
it's not a business.
Oo. So, parang roller coaster, up and down. Okay lang yan. Part ng, parang heartbeat yan eh. Di ba? Yung reading mo ng heartbeat, may pag-ganon-ganon.
Yeah.
Ngayon, pangit lang pag flat.
Exactly.
So, kasi pag hindi na nag-grow, maaaring flat line, maaaring dead.
Yeah.
Well, is considered dead ang business kapag hindi na wala ng, kumbaga, wala ng graph ng up and down. Diba? So, okay. So, mensahe dun sa mga kababayan natin, lalo na yung mga kamukha mong single mom dati na naranasan, ang dami sa mga kababayan natin na siguro maaring katulad mo dati, may batang mas maliit pa sa 13 years old nung iniwan mo siya. Diba? So, ano yung ma-advise mo?
Actually, I think ma-advise ko to all women to. Kasi, well, Sir Vic, ko na share, this year, I became a life coach for women.
Wow.
Was navigating yung ginagawa ko, business, family, ganon. So, I always hear a lot of like stories like women who cannot leave their marriage kasi
This is an opportunity for community advocacy, or this is more kind of another business?
It's actually my business, but it's not something that I really use as a business. It's really for me to really help women.
Yeah. Kasi
I tried to like create a social media and make it a business, but at the end of the day, my heart is just to help women, not to earn money.
Yeah.
So, meron ako nagkaroon ng client, by referral, I speak with women. At the same time, I learn from them.
Okay, so you got 4 things na instead of 3 things.
Yeah.
You get 4, this is the 4 things that you're binibuild, no?
Yeah.
Okay,
So, kasi there are so many women, like, they settle like with a very abusive marriage because this person is providing for her. She is living a comfortable life. Diba?
Yeah.
Even Filipinos are actually experiencing this also. Like, okay, kasi wala akong source of income, I cannot live.
Yeah.
All I can say is build yourself. Don't rely. It's good actually like, okay, your husband is giving allowance, paying all of the bills, but money will not always satisfy you. When you became older, as you
grow,
and your children will be mature, they will have their own lives eventually, you will realize that you actually lost a lot of in your life.
Totoo.
A lot of things. Kasi,
tsaka legacy na rin yung may iwan, di ba? Parang, wala ka namang matadala. Wala naman tayo lahat matadala. Di ba? Para sa akin, when you get to the certain age, but then obviously sa akin, ngayon, I'm not 50 yet, but then, di ba, parang hindi na tayo malayo sa 50. Di ba? Parang, kaaminin na natin yun. So, parang sa akin, di ba, sa akin ngayon, yung ginagawa namin sa GSS, di ba, sabi ko nga, money is a secondary here.
Exactly.
There's no money at all as we speak.
Exactly.
But the reason I'm just keep fueling me with this one, sa mga naririnig ko mga katulad ng mga kwento nyo, di ba? So, ang nakakatuwa lang, sana nga, makapulot din, makapagbigay ako ng inspirasyon sa iba na sana, oy, pwede pala magnegosyo bukod sa pagiging OFW na pwede pa pala. Mas malapit palang opportunity pa na gawin lang at kaya natin gawin. So, maliban dun sa advice mo, hinga na lang kita ng mensahe sa batang version ni Marian. Okay. Mensahe mo sa kanya.
Siguro, masabi ko, you did a great job. Kasi, Marian actually, since she was small, she was doing her best to please people.
Yeah.
Please her parents, to excel all the time, and she's not doing it for herself but for her family. But eventually she learned them.
Okay.
And I can say sa Batang Marian na you're on the right track. Right now your responsibility is to please your parents, but eventually I know that time will come, you will do things for yourself, not for others.
Galing. Ang ganda nun. Ang ganda. Ang galing. So ngayon, bigyan kita ng pagkakataon para lang magkaroon ng, baka may mga kababayan tayong nanonood, baka mabigyan ng trabaho, mabigyan ng oportunidad.
Yeah.
Whatever you can do for them. I mean, especially sa kababaihan. Di ba? Sabi mo nga, you're doing something especially for the single parents. Di ba? That's your time to invite them na baka, di ba, saan ka mahahanap o paano ka makakatulong. That's your time.
So, mga kababayan natin, especially for Filipinas. So, right now, kasi my focus is really helping, aside from the interiors that I'm doing, the fit out, I'm really focused right now on helping women navigate parenting, marriage, and their entrepreneurship, and so on. If you're in this place where you're struggling, or maybe you're really doing really well, but you're just confused, you don't know yung direction, I'm really here to help.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help. You can reach me out on my social media, Marian.Buscato, or you can just go to spaceinteriors.ae and you will see my so that WhatsApp will go to my assistant and they can always connect you to me. And I'm happy to help all Filipinas, not only Filipinas. If you are looking for like opportunity work, I always actually like those Filipinos who's looking for a job. I do my best to also connect them with other business owners. This is actually the reason why I was a member of a community group. It's for me to meet even my manicurista, if they have children who's looking for a job, I connect them with people now looking for this kind of people.
Galing.
So, ayun, I'm here to help. At the end of the day, we're all OFWs here.
Yeah.
Right? We have to help each other, not pull each other down. Diba?
Sa taas, sila na lang pataas.
Just help each other.
Galing.
So, they can always search me, Marian Buscato or spaceinteriors.ae.
Wow. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ang galing.
Thank you, Sir Vic.
Na-appreciate ko yung ano. Talaga namang sobra, nakaka-inspire yung istorya niyo. Talaga being isang single mother, di ba, na parang iniwanan mo yung anak para sa, ano, naranasan mo rin, maiwanan ng isang taon ng parents mo. Sobrang, I'm sure, maraming may inspire. At ako mismo, personally, na-inspire ako sa story mo. At maraming salamat at pinagkatiwalaan mo kaming ikwento at i-share yung story mo sa amin. Maraming salamat.
Thank you din po sa opportunity.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ayan, mga kababayan, isa na namang success stories ang ating naihandog sa inyo. At sana po ay nakapulot ng aral at inspirasyon. At sana po ay nag-enjoy kayo sa panonood. At kung kayo po ay may napulot na aral, na-inspire, i-share nyo po ang video na to para sa ganon, as marami pang kababayan natin na makapanood. Salamat po at hanggang sa muli.